I go to anywhere.
We were talking with you in the Summer Story Festival in June, and you gave us this.
Ah, okay, that's the one. I remember. First festival in Spain, and it was amazing. It was.
And you told us that you were going to come back soon, and you did. So welcome back.
If this is soon, yes, then I'm back.
Yes. Is it too late for you? Because I guess your days are longer because you are doing a lot of things in a day.
Day I got a million, tomorrow I don't know.
I remember the whole festival. It was really cool. I remember I started and there was like not a lot of people, and then people started to come in during my set, and then at the end it was completely packed and it was like a big party. So I had a lot of fun.
And what about Ushuaia?
I went.
Did a lot of good days there?
Yes. I spent a lot of good days in Ushuaia. I played before Avicii, before Axel Ingrosso. I played with Oliver Heldens and Robin Schulz at the Blue Party. So it was all good times and always a really cool crowd. People know my music, so it's a lot of fun.
Okay, so I have to congratulate you for Lessons More. I have to tell you that I had an interview and I broke it in pieces and I have to do it all over again because this album is really great.
Oh, thank you.
Lessons More is something that Steve Angelo told me because I interviewed him this year in February, I guess. And he told me that the best advice that someone told him was less is more. And now less is more is also something special for you.
Yes.
What I name?
Less is more is really like the description of my sounds. It's not, I don't have like crazy productions. It's more like really about the melody, the vocals, and keep it simple, but keep it like also really catchy and make the whole album about the fact that it's easy productions, but not like fancy stuff, and really put it together like this. And that's about, in fact, the sound of my music is less is more.
A lot of songs, a lot of tracks.
Yes, 16 tracks. Because also it took me like kind of 2 years to make the album, because in 2 years I wasn't like an amazing producer. I really grew like a producer for the last 2 years. I learned a lot, so I changed a lot in my productions. I also worked with a lot of different artists, so I tried to keep the best, and at some point I had so much tracks I had to choose between them all. So I put like the 4 singles now: What Is Love, Beautiful Life, Are You With Me, and Reality, and then 12 new tracks with 2 instrumentals, and then 10 new completely tracks. So I hope people like it.
No more. What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Baby, don't hurt me. No more.
Now you're going to get a new version, What Is Love, from Hathaway. Why that song?
Because it's actually a version I made like 2 years ago. I made it and I posted it on the internet, and then it became crazy, and then the label told me like, take it off, we're gonna try to make it official and stuff like that. So then 2 years later now it's on the album, so I'm really happy about that. And I made this version also because I saw one guy on YouTube made a cover, and his cover was really cool, so I made like a remix of his cover, and then now it's like my cover. It's like this long story, but I love the original version also.
Do you relate to Less Is More?
As a motto, sometimes yes. It's like I wrote something today. It was I don't know if it's linked, but it makes me think about it. It's like sometimes you're really happy when you don't have what you wanted. You know, like you really wanted something, then at the end you don't have it. But it's also really cool to don't have it. So just to keep it really simple. Yeah, just keeping wishing for things is like keep looking forward to something else. And less is more like you don't have a lot, but you're really happy with what you have, and you know, and keeping on like that. It's a really motivating.
Mm-hmm. And I would like to explain about the listeners of our radio station about this album.
In Less is More, they can find like sounds about lost frequencies, you know, like Reality and Are You With Me, but they can also find other stuff, because you know, an album is about also a whole story. It's not like just making hits, it's also making other tracks that I really like, that are important for me, other styles maybe sometimes, so they can find like lost frequencies sounds and that's something different, and then again some lost frequencies, then again something different, and then they will understand my whole world, and understand like how I listen to music and stuff like that.
I want to ask you about something different.
Okay.
Because I have 2 songs that broke my heart.
Which one?
Selfish Love.
Selfish Love, okay, yeah.
The first track that comes around.
What goes around comes around, yeah.
It remembered me of one of my favorite artists in the world, that is Flume.
Oh yeah, okay. It's also one of my favorite artists.
Do you have that in mind when you created the song?
Not really, because for Selfish Love, I had a drum and bass artist in mind, and maybe a little bit of Flume in my back head, but it wasn't like the main influences in my production. But at the end, it's true, it sounds like a little bit like trappy, sounds like Flume, but it's funny because it wasn't like my main influences in this production. But at the end I was like, hey, it sounds cool, it sounds a little bit like Flume actually. But it was nice also because there is like this vocal that is still a little bit like Lost Frequencies. And but for What Goes Around Comes Around, actually it's a bonus track because I'm making a lot of instrumentals for other artists, not for me. And What Goes Around Comes Around was not an instrumental for me. It was something I did for someone else. So sometimes I try to do instrumentals completely different from what I do. And I was influenced from Errol Grime for What Goes Around Comes Around. And at some point, I never gave it to an artist because I really liked this one. And then at some point, I just put it on the album because I loved it. So it's like, again, it's something different from what I do.
Okay, and can you expect in the future more songs like that? Maybe, like, I think that you might be friends with Oliver Heldens, for example. He has Oliver Heldens and has Hilo.
Yes.
Maybe we can expect something like that from you?
I have another project. I'm working on it. I'm actually making remixes of a lot of my own tracks as the other brands, but I don't really release them because I'm a little bit scared because I go completely crazy. Like I go really harder. Like I made a trap remix of A Beautiful Life. And at the end it's going like hardstyle and stuff, but I didn't release it because it's so I'm scared people are gonna link it and then it's not the same at all. So I'm gonna try to make my other profile completely separated from what I do, because Oliver Heldens is connecting Hilo and Oliver Heldens, but I don't want to connect it all because it's completely different.
But can we expect that in the future?
Yes, but there's already like stuff out on this name and people don't really know it's me, so
That's great.
it's fun.
And there is a track, Lift Me Up, with a Spanish guitar. Can you tell me about that one?
Lift Me Up is funny because I made this track also about 2 years ago. It's one of the oldest track on the album, and from the original song, like I said, I in 2 years I learned a lot in production. I changed, I think, like 6-7 times the version, and every time I changed something, and then at the end I changed the whole guitar stuff. And because now I work with a guitarist and he's recording all the guitars for me really good, and I asked him, can you make guitar sounds like that, and I send his demos and all the melodies, and then he's just recording it. And at some point I did like a whole loop. We go like da, 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 and then I just kept the loop, and at the beginning there was no electronic guitar on it, and then at the end I added, and I think it sounded good, so I like it.
That one's good too. And I want to know which was the last song you included in the album.
I think the last song I included in the album was Send Her My Love. Actually the tracklist was, no, it was What Goes Around Comes Around, but it was already finished. But the last song I produced, it was Send Her My Love, because the tracklist was already done for the album, but then I started working on Send Her My Love, and I was like, if I release the album, I have to wait like, I don't know, at least 6, 7, 8 months before releasing the track I'm producing now, and I just loved it so much. I was like, sorry, I have to put this one also on the album because I just love it so much, so I just put it on it. And so there are 16 tracks. So it's funny because the title of the album is Less is More, but there are 16 tracks, which is like a lot of tracks, but it wasn't about the track listing, it was about like the sound of the music.
And I asked you in June what was the key of your success, and you said you didn't know. Do you know already?
I don't know, it's maybe the fact that it's like the describing the sound is Less is More is really like, it's easy, it's simple. When you hear the track for the first time, you understand what's going on. It's not like going crazy. It's calm, but it's dancey. It's kind of electronic, but it's pop. It's like it's a mix between all. You can listen to it when you're young. You can listen to it when you're older. It's just like a all age kind of track. I don't know why. My music is kind of like that.
And finally, about the artwork, it's a hand with a clock.
It's a compass. It's a compass, yeah.
And why that?
My girlfriend gave me a compass, the one you see on the picture, in Ibiza when I was playing like every week there, and then she came one and she went to the hippie market and she saw this and she found this compass, so she bought it and she gave it to me, and when I had it in my hand I was like, this is so cool, and then I hold it like this and I was like, this is going to be my album cover. And so
I hope you know that everything coming from UNIKA is magical.
it's magical. I have it. It's still at my home, and I'm happy to know that, like, you know, it's not like just one commercial cover of an album. It's something I didn't want to put my head on the cover also because I want it to be timeless. I want if you pick the albums between other albums, you don't see a head, but you see like a whole concept of the music, and it's not like, oh, the guy is old now. It's more like, oh, this is the music. I remember the music and not the face. So I wanted to do it like that. Thank you. Oh, thank you for coming.
I hope I can see you next summer, maybe.
Yes, but I hope I will become sooner to Spain to play the next summer, because I played once in Barcelona in a club, and it wasn't supposed to be like an open party club. It was like a private event, but at the end it became like an open party. Yeah, and then a lot of people came in because it was the first time I was in Barcelona, and it was crazy. It was a lot of fun.
Yes. So I hope to see you very soon.
Me too. Hey everybody, this is Lost Frequencies and you're listening to UNIKA FM.